Good morning and welcome to What's Up Kansas City, and our guest today is Mr. Bruce Watkins. And good morning to you, Bruce.
Good morning, Mr. Watts.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure being on the show.
We're glad for you to be here today. I understand you've been doing some exciting things for our community, and one is there's about 3 of them that I heard about. The Leon Jordan Memorial Wall up at the Green Duck.
Yes. Oh, man.
Why don't you tell our people about that?
We are extremely proud of the Leon M. Jordan Civil Rights for 60s Civil Rights Museum, political museum. The Watkins Foundation, which is a not-for-profit 501c3 organization, is dedicated to the preservation of local Kansas City Black history. It emanated from some of our other work depicting the contributions of African Americans to the growth of Kansas City. And the anniversary of the Leon Jordan assassination, July 15th of 1970, sparked us to want to establish a history of his activities, along with his relationship with my dad in the 60s civil rights movement. So we researched and gathered memorabilia, artifacts, photographs, and we've placed them on the wall of the Green Duck, which is the former ownership of Leon Jordan, and also the birthplace of Freedom Incorporated, and was kind of right in the middle of the 60s civil rights movement. So the wall just kind of shows that struggle. It shows a history of the life of Leon Jordan, from his law enforcement career through his career as chief of police of the Liberian National Police Force, Africa, and also as a businessman and owner of the Green Duck and founder of Freedom Incorporated.
Why don't you tell our audience who was Leon Jordan?
Well, Leon Jordan was a pioneering law enforcement officer, detective, businessman, political, civil rights leader, and community leader who helped to shape and mold the 27th and Prospect Street corridor, as well as the entire community. His contributions to the African American political struggle, many of the things that we enjoy today politically would not have been possible without Leon Jordan. And I often say there would be no Bruce Watkins without Leon Jordan, who mentored him.
Now, so you're saying that Leon Jordan was the initial founder for Freedom Incorporated?
Well, he was one of 5, actually 7 founders.
Tell us who the founders was.
Leon Jordan, barber and businessman Howard Maupin, Dr. Charles Moore, Mr. Fred Curls, my dad. You also had founding members, contributors, Judge Leonard Hughes, Miss Marion Foote, who served as first Secretary of Freedom Incorporated. So their relationships, they came together, and they made a decision to advance themselves politically within the black community, and to come out from under the thumb of the white political bosses, which pretty much controlled our political decision making during that period of time. But of course, you know, this was in the midst of a national movement that was going on in the 60s as well.
Now, Leon Jordan was the owner and operator of the Green Duck. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And that's where a lot of the political activities would go on, and the caucusing and the talking. Now I understand right there where the Green Duck is located, his the Freedom Inc.'s office was right there. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's correct. The Freedom Inc. office originated there on the corner of 26th and Prospect. Of course, the Green Duck was kind of a mecca or a spot of meetings, and it was just kind of emanated from Leon's office and his ownership.
And it probably was pretty important at that time because we were just starting to go south of 27th Street.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, starting going south of 27th. I remember one time I saw Wilt Chamberlain standing on the corner at 27th and Prospect, and I think he was catching the bus back down to the Union Station going somewhere, but because more people rode the train back then.
That's right. Streetcar.
Let me ask you a question. We're building a new crime lab at 20 in that area, right by the Green Duck. How important would it be to name the station, the new crime lab, after Leon M. Jordan?
Well, I think the public is speaking to that. The fact that Leon was such a pioneering law enforcement officer, and Alvin Brooks speaks to that personally. We felt, and it kind of the concept of naming the East Patrol after Leon Jordan emanated from the celebration of the 44th anniversary of his passing. We had a very successful remembrance celebration at the Green Duck.
And that was called?
On the 15th.
That was called the what now?
The Leon M. Jordan Remembrance Celebration.
And that was held on?
On July 15th of this year.
Okay.
And we dedicated the Wall of Fame of the Leon Jordan Civil Rights Museum, which we're constantly adding to. Most of the photographs and pictures come from residents and families and people that experienced the 60s and the movement and knew Leon and my dad and were a part, very much a part. And that's what this is all about. It's about the persons, the leaderships, the people that have sacrificed and given of their lives to the to these freedoms, these advances we enjoy.
Now, and so the public can go to the Green Duck right now and see those pictures on the wall.
That's right.
The Founders Hall's wall.
Jimmy Townsend, the owner of the Green Duck, we call him the keeper of the legacy of Leon Jordan, and Freedom Incorporated has dedicated the wall at the Green Duck restaurant for the purpose of preserving his history. And the Watkins Foundation found it as a tremendous opportunity for us to continue our mission of preserving this local black history.
Yeah, I think we need to take time and say thanks to Jimmy Townsend at the Green Duck for allowing us the opportunity to place the pictures on the wall.
Right.
That was a big piece right there.
Yes, very much so.
On his part. And then the guy Walter Allen. Walter Allen, we want to tell you thanks because you marshaled and put the pictures up on the wall.
You're absolutely right.
Ever so grateful for the kindness that they showed us that day. Now let me ask you this: what are we doing to drive home naming the station, the crime lab, after Leon Jordan? What kind of activities are going on?
Now our elected officials, our councilmatic as well as our elected and appointed leadership is gaining momentum as far as its visible support for the effort. But from that night, you yourself chaired a petition committee, so we launched officially the night of the celebration a petition campaign. Our immediate goal is to collect 2,500 signatures from the area's residents, and in support of the naming of the East Patrol after Leon Jordan. And that initiative is gaining momentum. We've collected over 500 signatures.
Yeah.
And we want to continue to encourage our elected and appointed officials to give all due consideration to the naming of that.
Now,
station.
I heard that there is some rumble about naming the station jointly with Leon Jordan and Al Brooks. What do you think about
There
that?
has been some conversation recently. Of course, Mr. Brooks has been a tremendous supporter of, as well as a personal friend of Leon Jordan. I think it is an appropriate tribute to consider a joint naming of the station. Of course, Mr. Brooks' contributions to the law enforcement community and to the peace and safety. You know, this community is well noted.
But I think that we can find a place for Al Brooks, but we need to seize the opportunity for a sole name of the Leon M. Jordan Police Crime Lab.
Well, at this time, the petition initiative is to encourage the naming of the East Patrol, the Leon M. Jordan East Patrol campus. You know, and we'll continue that initiative as our primary objective. And
Well, I don't think we can skate it. Either it's going to be Leon M. Jordan or it's going to be something else. But
okay.
I mean, here's a guy who tell the folks how Leon died.
Well, Leon was assassinated. He was assassinated in the early mornings of July 15th of 1970. I recall I was 15 years old. You know, it's almost like his assassination had such an impact on this community as the Kennedy assassination or the Martin Luther King assassination had to the entire nation. Everybody remembers, where were you when Leon was assassinated? I remember I was 15 years old.
Like 19.
Yeah, it was a tremendous jolt to my family. I knew him as Uncle Leon. I mean, he was he was family. And of course, at the time, he was president of Freedom Incorporated. My dad was chairman. There was some concern that it may have been politically motivated. So, of course, my dad was under tremendous guard. And our family and our lives changed, as well as a lot of lives in this community changed. Even the circumstances have still not been totally solved as far as his death is concerned.
Now, you've lost your dad. I've lost my dad, and I came across a passage, Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. And it kind of leads into your purpose in life. They say, find ourselves, then we find our purpose. To lose ourselves when the purpose is bigger than us. You should do what you often do. You should do what you often do. So I know that's a lot of information there, but why don't you kind of wrap it up to where you are right now? You know, have you found your purpose and your passion, and or are you finding yourself doing what you often do because that's that's where your passion, that's where your energy comes from. And then sometimes we might have a passion for something and might not be real good at it.
That's
I mean,
true.
you know, the program on TV where they audition the music and everything, they got some people there that don't sing real good, but they got a lot of passion for that.
I understand.
So why don't you kind of look into the camera?
Well, you know,
and
some
we're gonna wrap this
things
up.
are in your blood. Some things you have been accustomed to for your whole life. My dad was a tremendous history person. One of the last projects that he worked on was the concept of the Spirit of Freedom Fountain. which celebrates the accomplishments of African Americans to the growth of Kansas City. So I find that equally a passion of mine. My dad has a tremendous artifacts, pictorials, and history. You know, he used to often say, and my cousin Warren Watkins, who's the founder of the Watkins Foundation, talks about history as being the building block of all society. And storytelling is the most significant of that. I mean, history is ageless. And I'm proud of the heritage of the Watkins family in Kansas City, their contributions through the business and political and social. We've seen through 4 generations in Kansas City the climate change, and as many other families have in Kansas City, and we want to encourage them to join with us to tell those stories of the families and the contributions of Black Kansas City and to the history, to the growth of our city.
Well, they also say a person with passion stands out, and I think you are a guy that's standing out and standing up for our community. This is a great cause. Ladies and gentlemen, support the petition drive to name the new Kansas City Police Crime Lab after Leon M. Jordan. And Bruce, we really appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you, Mr. Watts.
Oh man,
it
was
a
pleasure to be on this morning. And always remember, facts tell and story sells. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great day today here with Bruce Watkins. And always remember, to look sharp is to be sharp. And what's up, Kansas City?
CMG wants you to always remember, the victory we call success goes to the best prepared. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Thanks.